Okay, so thank you guys for being here for Thursday morning breakfast. We always want to make sure that we invite our powerful speakers to share information with the community about things that they're doing to help make the community better. My name is Tamani Mondani. I'm the founder of Thursday morning breakfast here in Houston. We are piggybacking and building upon our partner in Shreveport, Brother Craig B. Lee, who has Tuesday morning breakfast. And the whole idea is to become the bridge between brothers and sisters who are actually doing the work, subject matter experts, public and private, who are doing the work to make sure that the information that they have and the work that they're doing can be beneficial and introduced to the community, so that as a group we can use that information to move forward. So this morning we're going to hear from Brother Marcus Glenn, who is the president of Black United Fund of Texas. I'm gonna read the brother's bio, and I'm gonna turn it over to him, and then we're gonna get started. So Marcus Glenn is a native of 5th Ward. He's a husband and father that's focused on growing a better future for his family and families across the state. He graduated from Fur High School and attended Prairie View A&M University, majoring in agriculture. He graduated with his BS in 2006. After graduating from Prairie View, he attended Iowa State University. Where he received a master's degree in agricultural education. He graduated from there in 2009. Upon graduation, he moved back to Houston, and in 2011 was hired as a 4-H agent with PBAMU Cooperative Extension Program in Harris County. During this time, he got interested in local food production and began working with local farmers across the city. In 2016, he became president of Black United Fund of Texas. Under his leadership, BUFTX, focused on community need programming towards after-school enrichment, food security, and disaster prep and relief. In 2020, he started the Foods and Agriculture Literacy Program at Houston ISD, which teaches students about where their food comes from. And on that note, we're going to turn this thing over to Brother Marcus Glenn, who's going to talk to us about what he does, how he does it, and why he's so damn good at it. All right, brother, thank you very much.
Give you our history with it. We started in 1987 as an opportunity and as a viable option for Black people to decide what type of community efforts they were going to support in their community. Prior to that, the way in which nonprofits went or raised funds or solicited funds was through the combined federal campaign, to where an organization would go into a workplace, let people know about the programs that it is that they were doing, and then that person could decide if they wanted 25 cents, a dollar, would have taken out of their paycheck each pay period to be able to support that effort. Well, prior to 1987 here in Houston, the only organization that had the ability to go into the workplace was United Way. So here in Houston, Black United Fund of Texas went ahead and sued the city of Houston as well as United Way to be able to make space for us and other organizations to be able to go into the workplace and to solicit those contributions, to be able to give those employees a choice about really where it is that their funds went to and what that work was supporting. At a national level, Black United Fund was started in 1967 in Los Angeles, California, again to give Black residents the option and ability to choose how it is that they best supported their community. And so from 1967 up until now, Black United Fund has been around in several states across the country doing work that's specific to the communities in which they serve. So it's an organization in Oregon, Oakland, Georgia, Detroit, or Michigan, and then the national headquarters is in New York, and then we're here in Houston, just working to be able to make our communities better all the way around. Thank you, Brother Tamani, for the introduction. As you said, my name is Marcus Glenn. I'm no longer the president of Black United Fund of Texas. I'm more so serving as the chairman of the board and then as an advisory role. But Black United Fund of Texas is focused on community development by taking and partnering with community members to be able to find funding for their initiative. And not just funding, but other resources to be able to help them grow that initiative out. Right now, our work is focused in energy security and resiliency for Fifth Ward and Cashmere Gardens in Houston, and then also focused around food security and providing training and opportunities for growth for urban producers. And these two areas of work are being funded, one by EPA Community Change Grant, in which we partnered with the City of Houston, Houston Community College, South Union CDC, and a few other community partners to be able to provide the community with a free solar job training program. And then the food security program is being funded by the USDA through their initiative to be able to support urban agriculture in about 10 cities across the country. We work with communities directly to understand what it is that their needs are, and then connect them to the resources that they need to make what it is that they want real. And a lot of the times it doesn't necessarily mean funding, but more so just partnerships or connecting people with resources. We've started different community gardens with absolutely $0, but yet still been able to turn or to produce something just based off of the resources that we've been able to gather and connect people to along the way. So, any questions from you, brother?
Yes, sir. I got a few of them. First off, well, you just mentioned it, so I'll start with this one. How many offices or chapters does Black United Fund have?
Across the country, about 5 or 6.
Okay. And I'm assuming the funding sources primarily come from government grants, or is it a collection of sources?
It's a collection of everything. One, it's a collection. It's definitely government grants or private philanthropic dollars. I know the chapter in Detroit, or Black United Fund in Michigan, had a very long-standing relationship with Ford, Motor Car. And so they receive funding from the Ford Foundation and things of that nature. So being a registered nonprofit with a social service focus, as long as we have our paperwork all together, we'll go out after funding from most funding sources as long as it applies or aligns with our ethics and our values.
Here in Houston, people still have the option of selecting Black United Fund as it relates to taking money out of their check. That's something
so we haven't continued to pursue that after COVID, and that's just based off of how it is that the workplace had changed. And even prior to that, we were primarily just in the city campaign. But because the workforce has changed, it's a lot of private employers. We'd rather and prefer that someone just be able to give us the money directly by going to our website, www.buftx.org, and you can become a recurring or sustaining donator, and make a donation of $10, which is pretty much the same thing that would happen through the combined matching campaign. It's just instead of going into your workplace, you can hear the word directly from us without any type of filtration about what it is that we're doing.
Hi, I'm Belika Johnson Thomas with Black United Fund of Texas, and we partnered here at New Mount Calvary, the Evolution Church, to plant trees with Houston Wilderness.
So we're Houston Wilderness, and we have been providing trees for the Black United Fund for a year and a half, and we call these our super trees. These are all 14 species of trees that are native to Houston, and they're going to be able to take root and do well with the droughts, do well with the hurricanes. They're supposed to be here, and so that's why we're going to plant this kind of tree, and not necessarily landscape style trees.
What exactly does Black United Fund Texas fund? Is there anything you guys stay away from? Or you got some weed houses opening up in the community since about the year? How does that work?
We do not fund. I haven't come across something that we haven't funded. If it was a community-based effort, we saw community support and a community need behind it, as long as it can fit underneath our areas of culture, health, community resilience, food security, youth development, entrepreneurship, STEM, and it's one more of our focus areas I forget. But as long as it can broadly fit underneath one of those umbrellas, we'll work with it. We'll at least listen to it and come up with some ideas to be able to make the idea or initiative successful. And if you follow through on that, we see that it's successful, then we can definitely look at seeing how it is we can put together a fundraising package or fundraising program to be able to go out and to help support it further. And that's one thing I really have been trying to get different partners that we work with to support is we can pretty much be your GoFundMe. We can be your primarily GoFundMe. We can build out a specific fundraising page for you to be able to share with your friends, family members, supporters, whoever, to be able to raise funds for an initiative that you're trying to implement inside of your community. So really democratizing and providing that opportunity to people to get the benefit of making a donation from the donor standpoint, but then from the recipient standpoint, is going through a vetted organization that's been around, that has the financial processes and procedures in place to be able to work with you to get you your funding.
That's awesome. What's that process look like? How do they go about it? 'Cause I can imagine that's going to make a lot of light bulbs.
Yeah, so primarily what we do is set up a fiscal agreement with an entity or organization to be able to support a project. We do have an administrative cost of 20%, but anything else that you raise, that's going to you. We're going to take out them $2 out of every dollar and get you 80 cents every time.
Do they need to have executive summary, business plan? What do they need to have?
Have definitely an executive summary at a minimum.
Okay.
And being able to walk us through what it is that you want to do and how it benefits the community. I'm big on tearing down walls that's gonna stop you from getting access, because I know sometimes we don't have the necessary education or the correct words to be able to use, or knowledge to be able to do these things. But yet you got that idea, and it's been burning in your head for 2-3 years, and you just need somebody to get it out to help give form and shape to it. That's what we're here for. It's to help you bring form and shape to that idea that it is that you have, and help incubate it to where hopefully you'll be able to fly the nest and be successful. But even if you just around the nest for a little bit, we still want you to be successful, and so being able to get you the funds or support that it is that you need. So currently, one person that we're looking at doing this type of project with is a potential community garden and grocery store in 5th Ward off of Liberty Road. And so I'm looking to be able to develop a fundraising campaign with the sister to be able to start raising funds for her to get the supplies and equipment that's needed to be able to grow food, and then also to be able to sell it to the local community, and also support Black farms in the long run.
Okay, so does that mean if a person has an idea that's been burning in their head for 2-3 years, they can come to Buff TX, Mark the Glen, and have a conversation, and then you got to help them massage the idea, put it in writing so that they can put themselves in a position to get funded?
Yes, sir.
Absolutely.
Yes.
Absolutely awesome. Okay.
And the other side of it is this: if you're out there doing great work, I know so many people are doing different work for youth, a mentoring program, or youth football and stuff like that. And if you don't have the traditional nonprofit paperwork, but yet you out there really giving money to the people and really servicing the community, you can also partner with us in that way. And so where we be a fiscal agent, again, the same 20% that we would charge for the fundraising, we can also provide that to you to where, hey, now you have a registered nonprofit that you're out there being able to work with. You just give more validity to the work that it is that you're doing. And I believe in the motto of show and prove. This was something that we developed during Harvey, when Red Cross was getting a bunch of money from everybody. But yet, we didn't know where that money was going. So every dime it is that we got, we showed exactly where it was going to. It was going to the Shrine, it was going to Community Work CDC, it was going to our building, but yet we were providing distribution on a consistent and regular basis. We were taking stuff out to Orange, going weird. We were beating the federal government.
Orange, Texas?
Yes, sir.
Oh, wow.
Orange, Texas.
Okay.
Hey, when the need was great. And so we knew that Orange, Beaumont, Port Arthur, going weird, they weren't going to get the same support that Houston was getting. So if we could use the name and the flag of Houston to be able to receive these funds, to be able to go and help some other brothers and sisters that aren't going to get the same level of help, and that's what it is that we did.
Okay. What is the lowest amount you guys have funded, and what is the greatest? And is there a ceiling?
So we do not directly fund. We do not have the funds available for us to directly fund somebody. Unfortunately, we would love to be able to be in that position, but we have not been able to be in that position.
So what's the lowest amount you have people get money for anything?
Lowest might be $500.
Okay.
The greatest, I'm really proud of this young man by the name of Deontay McClendon and his organization, Unlearning Youth. We just helped them secure $90,000 for a national youth council to help address school absenteeism. And so this was funded by a healthcare company, I think McKesson, or it was funded by a large healthcare company. And so we helped him secure that funds, and he's already received his first disbursement. Yesterday he got accepted disbursement, and so he's going ahead and continuing this type of work.
And how long have you been with him?
I've been with Black United. I grew up in Black United Fund, Texas. I got introduced to it through my aunt, who was the founder and president of Black United Fund, Texas, Gatlin Johnson. And when she got up in age, she had trained me to be able to come in and do this type of work. She passed it on to me, and then I passed it back to her.
I'm good.
but still there to support. Because I think one thing that we don't always capitalize off of and really realize is that we need the knowledge and the wisdom that our elders bring, but yet we definitely need the legs, the strength, and the energy that the youth bring to really be able to make substantive work.
Yeah.
And so we have a great synergy to where she tells me what needs to be done, and I make it happen. But yet at the same time, steadily learning how it is that we can better serve and help ourselves.
Okay, excellent. What is the greatest hurdle that you have noticed people have had when they have an idea and they come to you, but for whatever reason things don't work out? What's been the greatest hurdle? Or is the hurdle just getting people to step forward and say, I have an idea?
The greatest hurdle is being consistent.
Okay.
I'll say that, consistency.
From the community part? Okay.
So somebody can come to me, prime example, we worked with someone for about 3 to 4 years on community gardening efforts. When there was support around that was not being done by the particular community member who came with the idea, it was going. But when that work had to be placed on that community member, it stopped. And so it comes down to consistency. And yeah, that's my biggest hurdle with folks, is consistency. And if you stick to the script, stick to the game, you're gonna win. But it's you being consistent and being able to focus in on what's the goal, what's the mission, what's the purpose, and being consistent in achieving.
You think that's a matter of not fully understanding what they're getting into, or life gets in the way? Because being
I think it's a mix of different things.
Okay.
I definitely think life getting in the way definitely has an issue to play with everybody's consistency. But then definitely not understanding the magnitude of what's possible, and then being able to move forward. A lot of us want to talk.
Yeah.
We talk a real good game.
And we're good at it.
And we're real good at it. But when that pressure's on, and it's time to perform, everybody ain't able to step into that bright light and to perform and to do so at a high level, consistent. That's the issue. People can go for 3 months. But join me in 3 years.
You know what I'm saying?
3 months. Talk to me. We're gonna be years deep.
Almost made it 4 months.
Yeah.
So does that mean it sounds like some business coaching is required, some hand holding, if you will.
Yeah, okay, definitely hand holding. But it's at a certain point to where I'm gonna hold your hand for so long. But you're gonna have to get up and try to walk on your own.
At some point.
You're gonna have to. And a lot of us have that fear of failure. But use that failure as a lesson, as knowing, okay, well, this is what I'm not gonna do next time. And be able to take those lessons and move forward in that respect. But definitely, a lot of hand holding is needed with this side of our community to be able to make these initiatives happen consistently. But we work with folks for as long as we can, and then after that, I always wish people best and what it is that they're doing.
You got to fly, man.
But you're also not gonna stop and deter what my mission, my work is. And I can't have your need being greater than mine, and I'm bringing in funds.
That's right. I've done my part, so to speak.
Exactly. I've done my part. Now you have to do yours, and this is how it is that we can move forward.
Okay. I got a text from a friend of mine this morning. He been talking to me about it. The Afro Tech is here in town.
Okay.
Is that, you know what it is?
Yes, sir.
Is that the kind of event that would Black United Fund ever go to that kind of event looking for ideas to invest in, or that's not something that you guys actually do?
I do not actively look for ideas or people to invest in.
Okay. They come to you. How do they find you? Is it word of mouth idea?
Word of mouth.
Okay.
I have, so when most people see me, I'm there to solve a problem.
Okay.
If I'm there, most times it's not good. Because of problem.
Yeah.
It can be good while I'm there. I could just be hanging out in the community.
Yeah.
And I love that. But most times if it's for work
Yeah.
or something else and you see me, it's not good. But I've developed that reputation as a problem solver, as someone that's innovative, to be able to move us forward and to be able to get stuff done. That's the other reason why I get called. I get called to get stuff done.
Okay.
And so if you aren't gonna get stuff done, you wasting my time, you wasting your time. It's no point of us continuing the conversation.
Yeah.
We can continue to be cool, I'll speak, say hi, what have you, but I can't allow your inconsistencies and things of that nature to deter me from the work that we have in front of us. And so I love being able to get back in touch with people, but it's primarily through word of mouth. People will reach out from Instagram or just by visiting our website and things of that nature. But I don't actively seek anything of that nature. Afrotech would be something I love to partner with to be able to spotlight and showcase technological advances or things of that nature that we're doing with our kids or with young people, if given the opportunity. We did work with organization Tech Face Live. His brother Khalil Vincent, and helping connect him with some different sponsors and being a resource on the agricultural engagement that he wanted to have. And so with that type of respect, we help out in that way. But going to Tech Fest, and that's just because we don't have the funding available. When you look at it, most Black nonprofits and most nonprofits as a whole are being run by volunteers or very minimal staff. The large nonprofits such as the National Football League are able to have hundreds of thousands of employees. But yet, the organizations that are actually doing work inside of communities to make them better and to give community members the opportunity to make their lives better, they don't have a large staff. What we're doing is literally by the good grace of the Lord, who is constantly being a provider and making sure that the work that we're doing isn't even stuff that we wanted to do, but it's the will of the Lord.
Yeah, it's the need.
It's the need for the most vulnerable and the poor, and so the resources are being made available for us there. Much like the children of Israel moving through the desert from Egypt into Canaan, we living off of manna.
Yeah.
We living off of manna. We living off of what it is that we can get until the next load of manna and bread come, so that we can go ahead and continue doing that work.
Okay, so this was not my next question, but since you mentioned manna, I got to ask. So it's a two-part question. The second part is, how can we not be in a position so that we are living off the manna? That's the second part of the question. And the first part, which I think you've already answered, does Black United Fund not go to Tech Fest type events looking for opportunities to invest in? Is that not done because of staff support, time, energy, and effort, or is it not in the purview of the mission?
It's in the purview. I don't have the money.
Right.
Point blank period. We don't have the money to be able to.
Yeah.
It goes back to the matter. Right. So we don't have the funds available to be able to do that. To go back to the manna, the children of Israel were in that position of having to have manna provided because they weren't in a position to be able to grow their own food,
right,
or to be able to take care of themselves.
Okay.
And so it has taken us a long time, and really a short time. Let's say since 2016, when I stepped on board and started really working with Buck in a leadership capacity. Ms. Johnson got me $500. $500 was the investment that I got to be able to revive and resuscitate and to make it work. $500.
That's a black plan, isn't it? You worked out.
So we went from at $500 to securing my first grant for $15,000. District I.
Predominantly black.
With the exception of I, predominantly Hispanic.
They don't have.
Now,
okay.
I mean, even then,
it wasn't
Hispanic.
Okay.
I was Hispanic. Got those funds. Then in 2020, we applied for EPA Environmental Justice Collaborative Problem Solving Grant. We got $200,000. The original ceiling on that money was $50,000, but they expanded it and we wound up getting funded for $200,000 to be able to build a shipping container, take a shipping container, retrofit it, turn it into a hydroponic farm in Fifth Ward, as well as plant over 500 trees in the community to help with remediation of soil and help clean the air.
Okay.
We go from that $200,000 grant. It was a 3-year deal, so from 2021 to 2023. Then we get funded with the city of Houston for this next round of EPA funding around community, the community change grant. We wound up receiving $500,000 for our part of that, and then out of the $20 million, the city got the rest of it. It's fine. And then we wound up getting another grant, or this current grant with USDA, close to $800,000 that we received. So if you sit at home thinking, okay, it's close to what, $1.5 million that we received over the past 4 years.
Yeah.
But when you look at it, as far as being able to take care of payroll, being able to actually do the work that we said we were going to do, dealing with the cost of inflation, how costs go up from when you write that budget and develop the program to when you actually get the money.
Right.
It's a whole lot of time, and that money don't stretch as far as we thought it might. And so I'm saying that to say, we've been able to secure programming or secure funds for programs that are active and we have motion on. We're looking for outside funds for general support, but for the most part, we're focused on the work that the contracts that we have here. And it's not a lot that we've been able to save and put up to be able to invest in these other opportunities. But that's not to say that's something that we are interested in the future.
That last statement is a good segue to my next question, which is, we both know that there's a lot of economic opportunity in the community, but for whatever reason, we have yet to properly organize ourselves to go after it. Is that something that when you were the president of Black United Fund, that you thought about, there's some things that I can do right here, where my office is, it's important, right?
Yes, sir.
Yeah. Have you thought about that? And if you have, what's been the hurdle to making those things happen? To generate your own
manpower.
The manpower.
Okay. The manpower. Yeah. So like I don't like people who tell me, I got an idea and I want you to sign an NDA. I honestly don't have time to remember what it is that you just told me that you believe is going to be a life-changing idea.
Right.
Because I got a bunch of life-changing ideas in my own head.
Yeah, amen. And
so, yes, we did have ideas about how to do things, but it was the manpower and again the consistency of community members to move forward with it. That's really been our holdup. That's really been it. And then the community members who are there, them having the skill set and the confidence in themselves to be able to do it. I'm not a person that's going to hold you back.
Right.
I'm not trying to tell you to go swimming in a pool with a 5-pound vest on. Nah. If I'm gonna tell you to go swimming, I'm gonna give you a life preserver, even if you're Michael Phelps. Because I want you to be successful. I'm gonna empower you to be successful. And so I think a lot of times, And this might not have taken place because of that level of empowerment that people were given and not knowing how to move forward without someone being there to directly tell them every step of the way.
Right.
I can't be there to run this initiative if I'm out at a meeting trying to secure more resources and other help to be able to help us out.
You can't do everything.
Can't do everything.
Right.
And so I like to work in my wheelhouse and what I'm good at.
Right.
I'm good at securing resources, making stuff happen. I'm not good at setting up a store, a thrift store.
Yeah.
That's not me. Now, other brothers and sisters, okay, I want to do X, Y, and Z. It's cool. I got a whole room full of clothes upstairs. Let me know when you want to come by, start hanging them up, and how we gonna promote the market.
Right.
But yet, it's never any follow. Sure. So I try to stick to what it is that I'm good at. Stay in my wheelhouse and stay out other people's way to where it works in. So we wanted to, is just having consistent people there to be able to help those efforts.
Okay. I can dig it. Yeah, I can dig it. Okay, so initially you said that you focus on two things. The second one was energy security, but the first one was something else.
Food security.
Food security. Okay.
So our two current programs or two current contracts are focused on energy security and workforce development, and then food security.
Okay. What is energy security?
Oh, I'm glad you asked.
Yes, sir.
Energy security in Houston is moving off of Centerpoint's grid.
Okay.
Energy security in Houston is really having community resilience.
Okay.
It's being able to have the ability, no matter what the weather conditions are, to still be able to have power in your house and in your community.
Okay.
And to be able to do that, one, you need job training.
Yep.
Well, let me take it back before you need job training. One, you need awareness.
Yep.
Awareness about different energy options. Awareness about what are the benefits, what are the drawbacks, and things of that nature of these different non-renewable. Of these different renewable energy options you have available to you.
Okay.
Second, where the community need job training for these different types of jobs. And so that's really where our focus is with the city of Houston and the EPA. By partnering with Houston Community College and Green Thumb Academy, we're able to provide awareness and also job training to individuals within inside Fifth Ward, Cashmere Gardens, and Greater Northeast Houston that's tied back to the solar industry. And so right now, that's our work around energy security, is in working in solar, being able to train individuals for jobs in solar installation, maintenance and repair, and then working with the city to establish resiliency hubs inside of Fifth Ward and Cashmere Gardens, and then helping the city build out a solar farm that would benefit and provide energy to residents inside of that community, and hopefully lower their bill.
It sounds like being pro energy security would affect Centerpoint's bottom line, so I would assume they would not necessarily be on board with that kind of program.
Centerpoint is on board with this type of program because Centerpoint also has solar farms. So they're not just worried about Fifth Ward and Cashmere Gardens. Okay. They're looking at the larger play of as our need for energy continues to increase for distribution centers, for tech hubs and things of that nature. They need a more reliable, or they need to diversify their energy sources. Okay. And so solar plays right into it. You know, if you watch the commercials with NRG or Reliance, they talk about, we got solar days and solar nights. Okay, well, where they pulling that solar from? They probably have a solar farm, or people that are purchasing that solar from,
that's right,
and then resell it.
Yeah.
And so we just want to make sure that if we're not involved in the selling aspect, at least we're involved in the maintenance and just providing that entry level job training, because you're going into this career as a brand new novice. As what? As a novice. You know, you're coming into it brand new, but yet you don't know if this career has a ceiling, how high up is it? And then if it has a ceiling at all. Yeah. You know, and so we just want to be able to allow people to see what the opportunities are for them if they just do the work, have a commitment to do the work. Okay, and that's another good segue, because the next question is, you said you guys have a free solar job training program. Yes, sir. How does that look? People can go to our website, www.buftx.org, scroll down to close to the bottom of the page, and we have a interest form there. You fill out the interest form, and that'll let us know that you're interested in the solar training program, so where once we kick it off between February and March of 2025, we can let you know and go ahead and get you into those classes. So this free solar training program is being supported. That's the $500,000 from the EPA. Okay. So the EPA provided us with the funds to be able to provide this resource to community members to be able to help them get into these jobs. Are there not other? I think I know at least one other nonprofits, black or brown nonprofits, that are focused on solar energy training that you can partner with? Partner with to do the training? Yes, sir. Aspect? Yes and no. Okay. Yes, in the respect that there are some that are out there. South Union is one. Yeah, also, that's what I'm thinking about. Yeah, Brother Ephraim. Yeah. And then also on the north side, Lunch Point, CDC. Okay. Was doing some solar training. We could partner with them. And South Union is actually reading into the solar training grant with the city and the EPA. So we are partnering with them in a respect. But at the same time, the no side of that is when the grant was written, HCC was written in as the training, as the training part.
Okay.
And so
I got you. Yeah.
by law, by contract,
They have to go to ACC.
we have to go to HCC.
Got it. Got it. Does that mean future opportunities? It could be more community based.
Yes, sir.
Yeah.
Yes, sir.
Is that part of the plan?
Yes, sir.
Okay.
So part of our plan is to work with Green Thumb Academy, the same entity that works with Brother Beaver, and for us to be able to have our own solar installation training program as well as construction training school. So we'll be looking forward to expanding those options that we provide around career and workforce preparation and development.
Okay, cool. My last few questions. You stated earlier that it's extremely important for you guys to understand the needs of the community, so you can hopefully help in that regard. What's that process look like as it relates to you guys understanding what the community needs? How do you go about knowing that?
We in it with you. And I promise I'm not saying that in a derogatory way or boastful way.
Yeah.
But if our office was located at 2606 Great Street, and if we weren't talking to community members who walking up and down that street,
Right.
we wouldn't be able to know what the needs of that area are.
Right.
And also catch us at different events where representatives might be. I think the community engagement aspect does not necessarily take place just at our office and just in Fifth Ward. The community engagement aspect takes place wherever it is that partners and members of Black United Fund are. Because what we can do is take an issue from Sunnyside, take an issue from Second Ward, from East Downtown, what have you, Magnolia, Pleasantville, Galena Park, what have you. And we're more than likely having some of the same issues. Yeah. Environmental injustice, so our air quality is bad. So we got some partners to be able to work with us to plant some trees. Yeah. Job opportunities. Okay, well, how are we going to engage these young people so where they see a career as a viable opportunity versus being out on the streets, getting into trouble and getting into mischief? Yeah. So while we have a lot of broad things that we can target and work on, a lot of it just comes from us talking with people and people let us know what they're interested in, what they're willing to support, or what they need in their community, and then us seeing what resources, assets, what resources do we have to be able to lend to that cause and to be able to help them out. Our motto is we're the helping hand that is your own. Okay. So we can extend a hand for you to grab, so we can pull you up. We want to continue to do the same thing all the way through.
I heard so many great things about this barbecue spot, so I had to check them out. As soon as I walked in, I was met with these delicious smoky flavors, and I knew I was gonna have a good time. I love their tender ribs smoked in a nice sweet and tangy barbecue sauce. I enjoyed their wings. I would definitely come back for these, especially that ranch sauce. Their brisket smelled heavenly and melted in my mouth. Don't skip out on their mac. Their corn was so good. And this banana pudding was probably the best I've had in Houston. I also got to try their 7-Up cake, which I've never had or heard of before. The staff here are so welcoming and kind. Make sure you check out Gatlin's Barbecue and follow for more.
Okay, last question. The community gardens aspect of what you focus on. Again, hurdles. What's been the greatest hurdle when it comes to getting our people to realize this community garden thing is a big deal? Because as we just got there saying on camera, everybody got to eat. You got to understand that people who currently buy what you eat, that's not necessarily the best kind of food you eat. Correct. So what's the greatest hurdle to get our people on board with community gardens?
That it'll pay. I think we were forced for so long to produce food and agricultural crops and commodities, and we never saw any payment off of it.
You think it's trauma there?
Generational, because the first chance that we got the hell away from it. Went to cities. But now our communities are suffering because we don't have access to fresh food. I grew up in Fifth Ward, in the fiesta that's there on Lyons Avenue for all of my adolescent life, and possibly a good portion of my adult life. When you walk in, it smelled like fish.
I was just about to say, I don't understand why produce sections in Black communities smell so bad. I really don't understand that.
It smelled like fish, but it's because these grocery stores aren't maintaining high levels of quality because they don't want to. They have higher levels of quality. They got to charge you more.
Sure.
They trying to make $1. They trying to make their dime.
Right.
And so we can cut some corners in one aspect. We're going to
right.
Because they don't care no way.
Wow.
Versus so that's it. But I think the beautiful thing is we started to wake up and we have people like my brother Jeremy Peaches, my sister Ida Lawrence Walls, Major Stevenson, Kimberly Ratcliffe, who are really engaging in our food system and producing food. Emory Davis, who are engaging in the food system, producing good quality beef, producing good quality pork, producing good quality vegetables, and get Kenny Banks. There's another friend of mine that's doing some farming, but they're producing this food and giving it out to the community in the best way that they know how. And so I think now is the time for us to really think about what local food systems look like, how to engage in them, and how to participate in them. And so to that respect, we've been able to partner with Prairie View to establish a community garden at our office, 2606 Great Street, and we'll be doing an installation in December. So I think the times are changing, and our mindsets are also changing. But initially, it's the trauma of We don't want to be a farmer, but yet not understanding the value that comes out of that soil and how it provides more than just a monetary benefit, but it provides health, it provides community. It does so much more for us. So that's it.
It is interesting that we don't, like when you were talking about the solar, not understanding that this industry, if there is a ceiling, we don't know what it is, but there is something here. It's interesting that we don't see the value in our health, which is our, if you're not healthy, everything else sucks, right? And you have a chance to control your health by controlling the food that you have the power to grow, but it's making that connection between being healthy, eating right, and you can have a hand in that process. But of course, you don't see that as having value, so you're not trying to get involved.
In the time, it takes time to grow. It takes time to grow food, and if you don't have that free time, I understand. I completely understand. But you can support somebody who's growing food, like Brother Shaka back here, and paying this brother to grow your food, and then he gonna get it too. So it's different ways how we can do it. But it's let's just realize this is what we need to do.
That's right. Okay, brother, you must have any questions, by chance? Y'all good?
Maybe not for the camera.
Well, that's why he's here. You don't want to ask.
Yeah, no, I just want to know if you do any grant writers. Because I actually managed a studio in 54. I hope you heard of Wayne Street Live. Over there, but it's on Hollingsworth and Wayne Street.
Okay. Close to Cage Records, I know where you at.
But the owner, he's looking for like grant writers. He has a nonprofit. Where it's like, there's a side of the studio that's paid, but then the other side is nonprofit.
I'm just gonna be 100 with you. I'll do the work, but I need to be compensated for it. Like a lot of people look for, a grant writer to take something off on the back end. Ain't no guarantee you're gonna get the grant. It's no guarantee you're gonna get the grant. So I put in this time, this energy, this effort, and this work to put together a proposal to submit it. But I still would like to be compensated for my time. So you don't have to have some type of, and this is not just specifically for him. This is in general way how I'm moving forward. Don't have to be some type of compensation there to be able to make it work. But I don't mind looking at it, seeing what we can do, or how we can work in collaboration and partnership as well, all the way around. But
Okay. Well, definitely let's link up because I'm sure you'd be highly interested. We got process like renovating and adding some units in the back and stuff. So I think you'll be interested in talking.
And given that opportunity, as relates to your wanting to be compensated, which makes all the sense in the world, have you not thought about having that as a bullet point on the website? Because as you said, I agree with that. I used to be a senior technical writer for a long time, so I didn't put a lot of value.
No, because it's gonna lead to a compensation. Being the same.
Exactly.
Right. I know the type of time that you be putting in.
I loved it.
Yeah.
But I'll pay a lot of money. So I didn't put a lot of value in my ability to write. So I'm thinking, well, who can't write? Come to find out.
A lot of people can't write.
Exactly right. So have you thought about to help yourself, help the community, help Black United Fund? Have you thought about being that grant writer, because the service is needed?
Right.
Hell, just from the executive summary part alone, and then the business plan, and then maybe the grant. Have you thought about putting that as a bullet point in the financial service?
Yes, sir. But I also believe that we would get, if we don't have a lot of people that's gonna write the grant, it would really just be falling on me. And no matter how many people have told me, I want to learn how to write grants, I want to write grants. All right, look, here's an easy one.
Right.
You write it up, I'm gonna review it. Then we can go ahead and submit it. Let's get a bag. Instead of me, but yet they all want me to go take my pole, my bait, and everything and go fish for them. And they come along on a fishing trip. But yet when I try to give them the pole, I'm not, it's all right. And I help them. And so we have a larger staff or get a few more people to where some of that can be taken off of me. That definitely will be a service that we provide. But it's being able, it's one of those egg and chicken type of deals.
That's right.
We don't have the funds to be able to pay for a grant writer for our staff to be able to help out with this. Because everything I do with Black United Fund is volunteer. All of this, it's a hell of a volunteer gig. And I love it because I love my people. But we need capacity to be able to do that.
And as it relates to people not understanding that the writing is the work, I don't know how many times, I can't see how many times I was kind of chuckle when people come to me and say, okay, well, if you can write it, once I win it, I'll pay you. I'm like, it don't work. You know how much time it takes to put together a good proposal. A good proposal. I'm talking about a business plan. That takes time, man. You gotta understand what's what.
I can put together a proposal. And you're gonna get a response.
Right.
You want a good proposal.
A good response.
Hey man, it takes some time. It takes time. And I just don't do this for Black United Fund. I write for Houston ISD. It takes time to put together proposals. And so I'm not shying away from it, just letting
it's a reality.
It's a reality.
If you want to get the bag, you gotta be prepared. Because a lot of people look at that same bag as well. So
I was gonna get it.
Shaka, you good in the question? Okay, all right. Okay, brother. Thank you very much. Appreciate it.
Yes, sir.
We will most certainly continue to talk next. We got a lot to build on.